captions on? Hey man, why that junk so loud? Hey man, why that junk so loud though? Hey, turn it off, man.
After I divorced my ex-husband,
Okay.
I wasn't planning on immediately finding someone new. It just sort of happened. By random chance, I met a man named Lewis at a bar.
Okay,
I
Lewis
was
got a
drinking
fresh
and
lineup
getting
though.
my
You see that?
message.
Oh my
Lewis
god.
was sitting near me, saw the look on
He
my
don't got no
face,
fade
and
though,
bought me a
but
drink.
his hairline
From
nice.
there, we hit it off.
Oh,
Over the next
shoot,
week
never
or
mind,
so,
that junk going.
we went on a couple dates. However, it seemed like Lewis wanted to take things faster than I did. On the morning of Friday, April 13th, he invited me to join him on a dinner cruise that same night. Not only did he spring it on me with very little notice, but I also wasn't comfortable getting on a boat with him just yet, so I declined. Instead of giving up, Lewis said he wouldn't want to go on the cruise alone anyway. Then he suggested I just go over to his house for the evening.
If you get peer pressured into going on a boat trip with a random man you just met, you deserve whatever happens to you. I'm sorry.
Hadn't been there before and it still
I'm sorry.
felt a tad intimate, but I decided to do it anyway. That night I drove to his address. Upon arriving, I noticed that all the lights were off, inside and out, cloaking the house in complete darkness.
You gotta
There
go
was a
Glock.
two-car garage and a car I didn't recognize parked in the
In
driveway already.
GTA, it's Xbox.
Lewis hadn't mentioned living with anyone, so I had to wonder who else was coming over, and why the hell they didn't need to be able to see each other. Confused, but still willing to follow through, I parked next to the other car and then got out.
What's up,
I
man?
noticed a change in the house before I even took 2 steps. The front door was now open, the light above it still unlit, and Lewis was just standing inside,
Oh, yeah.
wearing nothing but underwear and an undone robe. The sight made me freeze. I'd only known him for a few days, but this was so unlike the impression I'd gotten from him. A million thoughts ran through my head, the loudest of which was telling me to get back in my car and leave. I wanted to, but Lewis kept waving me over. Something felt off about his smile. It wasn't warm anymore.
Do you have
There
zero-
was just nothing behind his eyes, or whatever was there. He was trying to hide it. He wouldn't stop waving either. Going against my better judgment, I chose not to be rude. I walked up to the door and said hi, but Lewis
Hold on,
didn't
man.
say
Start getting
much.
scary, man.
He didn't say anything, really. He just kept waving me over, beckoning me inside his home. Reluctantly, I stepped through the door.
Wait, why he
Then
bald
Lewis
now?
closed it
What
behind
happened to his
me,
head?
shutting us off in a near-perfect darkness. It wasn't just that the lights were off. All the windows were blacked out too. Not even the street
man.
lights were bleeding in. I couldn't see a damn thing. Suddenly, I felt Lewis grab my hand.
Hey, man,
I
get your
asked him
hand
where we were
off me,
going, but
boy.
he told me it was a surprise. I pulled back, not wanting to be led into some kind of trap, only for him to whisper something odd. Stop breaking character.
Wait, are we role-playing right now?
Whoa.
Yes, you said you liked that, didn't you?
Did I? I mean, I sort of remember, but...
Don't worry about it, just follow me. Role-playing could have meant a lot of things. I was just hoping it wasn't what I thought, but I was just collecting more and more reasons to leave. If any other weird shit kept happening, I would be gone. Next, Lewis led me up a set of stairs that I struggled to climb in the darkness.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Whoever's like the person that went through the story saying if any more weird stuff would have happened, I would have been out of here. What if you had no chance to escape? Because what if the door is only locked from the outside? Wait, I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but like, what if that he made a way or like customized this house to where you can't get out? So once you in there, you kind of stuck, but only he knows how to get out.
But I made it. On the second floor, we soon entered into a smaller room, a bedroom, but the lights were still off. Lewis refused to turn
He's
them
up to
on
no
until he
good.
closed the door behind us. And when he did, I was hit with a serious shock. There were 2 other women in the room with us. They had been waiting in the dark, wearing nothing but bras and panties. I looked back at Lewis to find he had dropped his robe to the floor.
Oh, Joe,
joining the
watch out,
women
my
and wearing
boy.
almost nothing. All 3 of them were encircling me, staring with hungry eyes. After a short but silent moment of shock, I found my voice again.
Excuse the hell out of me, but what in God's name is going on here?
You talking?
God's got nothing to do with it, Britt. Do you know what day it is?
Yeah, it's Friday
Oh.
the 13th. Big whoop, you creepy dork.
I was thinking for the occasion we could try something a little different.
What occasion,
Something
man?
Like a small orgy? All the temptations of the flesh wrapped in a neat bouquet of S&M.
S S&M? What's that?
Well, the S stands for sadism,
Ow! What the hell?
deriving pleasure from inflicting pain.
And the M, if I may, is masochism, deriving pleasure from receiving pain. Go ahead, squeeze.
Hell no! I'm out. I'm not doing any of this weird, freaky bondage bullshit. You three have fun with each other all you want. I'm going home. Lewis, you said this bitch would be cool.
Easy, ladies. It's all right. We'll just have to settle for some necrophilia.
Oh, you like that? Oh!
This Friday the 13th story happened on April
this is based off
13th
of real?
of 2012, which is the last day Brittany Kilgore was seen alive wearing a purple evening gown. Days after filing for divorce, Kilgore met Luis Ray Perez.
I'm being honest. He looks like he's up to no good.
Kilgore wasn't initially interested when Perez invited her on a dinner cruise, but she agreed after he offered to help her move.
What's
Instead,
that Riz?
Perez allegedly took Kilgore
Oh
back
my
to his
gosh.
place where Grace Marie Maraglino and Jessica Lynn Lopez joined them. 4 days later, Kilgore's body was found. Over the
Wait,
following weeks,
the
Perez,
BBW
Maraglino,
Oh.
and Lopez were arrested.
Ew,
An
what's that on her
investigation
mouth?
uncovered evidence suggesting that the trio were into S&M that crossed the line. It was argued that they murdered Kilgore after she refused to participate. Although they pleaded not guilty, the three were all sentenced to life without parole.
Thank you. That's the crazy story. I didn't even know that this was based. I knew because I was watching Astro. Hey man, come on, get this off my screen, man.
For the past 30 years, every single Friday the 13th has reminded me of the most harrowing
like Call of Duty?
experience of my life marked by that date. Back then, I was still a young guy at the start of my career as a high school principal, married to a beautiful woman who was pregnant at the time of this happening. At the end of a long school week, my wife and I looked forward to a peaceful, relaxing night in. She made a delicious dinner, while I tried to get ahead on a stack of paperwork I had to do over the weekend. After dinner, we cleaned up together, then sat down on the sofa to catch some primetime television, for it was Friday the 13th. At 8:30 p.m., our television program was interrupted by a knock at the door. I muted the TV. Who could be at the door at this hour? They knocked again. It didn't have any urgency to it. They didn't call us from the other side to identify themselves or state their business. By the third knock, I knew they would not leave on their own. I got up to answer the door, but before opening it,
Y'all don't be having no survival skills, bro. Before you even open up that door, if I don't know who it is at the door, you know what I got. Right? Like, somebody try to come knock on the door and I don't know who you are. Behind the back, right? But wait. You always, like, if my house doesn't have a peephole or anything, I'm gonna look through like the window, or I'm gonna try to get a glimpse of your shadow under the door. And before I open the door, you gotta state your business. Because if I open this door and I don't know you, and you're trying to harm me, it's over. I fully believe in the right to bear arms, but don't give a gun to a crazy person. You gotta have self-control when you have a weapon, bro. Seriously.
I looked through the peephole to glean a little bit about who this person was. All I saw were yellow eyes.
Bro, I can't do horror, bro. Yeah. You come to my people looking like that, I'm gonna just open the door and blast you, bro.
Piercing, pressed against the door, unblinking. My wife asked me who was at the door. I looked away from the sulfuric eyes and said I couldn't tell. They were standing too close. Maybe they heard me, because when I looked through the peephole again just a moment later, they had taken a step back, allowing me to see who they truly were. I recognized him, Glenn Milner, an old student of mine from the previous school year, but he graduated. He should have been at least 19 years old by then. What was he doing at his old principal's house in the middle of the night? I did not open the door for him. Something was wrong. I could not risk letting him into the house, especially while my wife was home. I began talking to him, hoping to resolve things behind the safety of the metal door between us.
Glenn, is that you? Good evening, Mr. Williams. Would you please let me inside your wonderful home? I don't think this is a good time, Glenn. Maybe come back tomorrow, in the morning, if possible. I'm afraid I can't do that. It has to be tonight. Why? What day is it even? Friday the... Oh, really, Glenn? Is this some kind of late senior prank? It's a glorious night, Mr. Williams, and I have a job to do.
See, in this situation, it's whoever gets shot off first. Or, I don't know. Like, I don't know how the courts would claim this, right? But let's say, right, somebody's already having an intimidating, like, presence, and you don't know who they are, and they, like, won't stop. I don't know how this will hold up in court, but if you, like, let's say you have a shotgun, because they say a shotgun is one of the, like, the best home defense weapon, right? So what if you just boom, boom, and just blast through the door, and whatever happens to the person, happens to the person? Now, I ain't gonna lie, that's straight murder. I ain't gonna lie. That's not gonna hold up in court at all. But it's scary, because, like, you don't know, bro. Look, man. You got to pull out some tactic. Get a peek angle. You open the door, get a Rainbow Six peek angle. Hide behind a door or something. So when you see them, they can't see you, so you get the first move.
I'm not letting you in, Glenn. Have a nice evening.
I stepped away from the door, looking at my wife with a shrug.
What if he
She
just shut the door
shrugged
now?
back. What a weird encounter, we thought together, thinking it was
He
over.
not playing. He's still at that door.
Suddenly, Glenn began banging on the door, shouting curses at us, demanding we let him in. I pointed over my shoulder, signaling for my wife to leave the room in case Glenn managed to break in.
Get back here and let me in, you old bastard! Listen up, kid. If you don't get the hell off my stoop, I'll call the...
At that point, Glenn raised up a pistol. By the time I recognized what it was, he had already fired it 3 times. Shock took over immediately. I collapsed to the floor.
I take all of that back. In this situation, my shotgun theory, it stands. I'm not taking it back, bro. Because he just shot this man through the door. This is the type of stuff I get mad on Call of Duty, bro. If you wallbang me, pause, in Call of Duty, like, I be getting mad, bro.
Seeing and hearing everything, but not comprehending any of it. I was so confused. I didn't know what the hell was going on,
just busted.
bleeding to death at my own front door. Moments later, my wife rushed back into the room. She crouched over me, screaming and panicking it looked like, with the phone between her ear and shoulder. I could gather that much, but I had no clue what she was doing. Of course, she was saving my life. She slowed the bleeding with her bare hands until the paramedics arrived. Cops swarmed the house too, but Glenn had left the moment he shot me. Killing me was the job apparently, but we'd come to realize I wasn't the only one. That night, Friday 13th, Glenn went on to attack and murder 3 more innocent people, including one of the most promising students at my school. For whatever reason, God chose to spare my life. I was the only one to survive Glenn's crime spree, which he openly admitted to being a satanic ritual. Thanks to my wife, I remained on this earth to raise our family together. But it has not been without terrible
Hey, y'all
hardship.
better stay strapped,
That
man.
night affects me to this day, as much
This ain't no
mentally
game, man.
as physically. 30 years on, there are still dozens of pieces of metal shrapnel lodged in my body, and as they shift through my tissue and threaten my vital organs, I must undergo repeated surgeries to remove them. But despite the odds, I have survived over 40 operations and counting. As a Christian, I have forgiven Glenn for what he did, but as a man, I know that he must never be released from prison. There is evil in him that will never go away so long as he lives. He said it himself. If he ever gets a taste of freedom, he will finish the job and will kill again.
Trust me.
On Friday the 13th
Don't
of
let him
March
out.
1992, 19-year-old Glenn Milner went on a satanic-themed killing spree in Panhandle, Texas, taking out 3 people including a school friend. 35 years after a violent crime spree in Panhandle, a survivor of Kenneth Glenn Milner's attack is sharing his story. I want him to stay there for the rest of his life, and if he gets out, I firmly believe he'll kill again. Psychopaths, they don't change, and that's what he is, said Ken Williams, survivor of the Friday the 13th shooting. On Friday, July 13th in 1990, Kenneth Glenn Milner showed up to the home of Panhandle High School principal, Ken Williams.
How you know
and when
he
I
lived?
looked through the peephole, I saw yellow eyes. That's all I saw.
Oh,
and I thought, no, that can't be right. So I kind of blinked my eyes and looked back through, and I saw the yellow eyes again. But then I saw Glenn Milner, the man that was standing there, and he raised it up at that point and shot me through the door. He said, Milner left the home with
Shot him
Williams
through
bleeding
the
on the
door
floor.
is
From there,
crazy.
Milner went on to attack the father of his ex-girlfriend, Jimmy Britton. He slashed Britton's throat and arms with a straight razor. He then took 17-year-old Frankie Garcia to an abandoned barn, where he killed him in a satanic ritual.
Oh,
Milner later
like
confessed to
that?
the crimes and was sentenced to life in prison.
Oh, yeah.
Back in my freshman year of high school,
Dang.
we had two
Oh,
back-to-back
what the
days
freak?
that everyone was talking about. First was Friday the 13th, and then
HSP
Valentine's Day
Chemical
on
Engineering
Saturday right
University.
after. Personally,
Is
I
this a real
didn't
place?
care about Friday the 13th. Valentine's Day, on the other hand.
Wait, did he just say high school? Why the frick is his cut like this? Oh, yeah.
I didn't care about Friday the 13th. Valentine's Day, on the other hand, now, I cared about that. See, I had a little
Yo,
crush
Kyle, what's
on this
good, bro?
boy named... Well, that's not important. The point is, I was going to make sure he asked me to be his Valentine, so we could spend all of Saturday together. That morning, I got up extra early to make sure I was ready.
You in
Then,
college now?
all that was left was my
Oh,
walk to
man.
school. I lived on the 10th floor of my building near the top. I entered an empty elevator, but then it stopped on the 9th floor, the very next one down. When the doors opened, I saw a
Official
ghastly,
August?
creepy-looking
Oh,
man I had
nah.
never seen in the
Why
building
he look like
before.
that?
He was wearing
Okay,
raggedy
congratulations, bro.
clothes
Where you
and
going?
holding a cloth,
Who you
like he
going
was
to?
going to the gym. However, when he walked in, he didn't press the button for the 3rd floor, where the gym was
I don't
located.
graduate to the
He
14th.
just stood right next to me and
Oh,
let
what,
the
May?
elevator keep heading to the ground floor without stopping. This
April
guy
26th,
would
dang.
not stop looking at me.
I ain't
It was so
graduate till
obvious,
June 11,
even in my
2023.
peripheral vision,
Y'all
that he
sound
was
so
staring
lucky to
me up
graduate
and
that
down.
early.
I refused to make
I
eye
would've had a
contact,
blast.
but it didn't make a difference to him. What made the whole interaction even more
Yeah, bro.
perverted was that I was wearing a large backpack and clearly looked way too young for this guy to be interested in me. I wanted nothing more
It's
than
ba-
for
it's
that
bad,
damn
bro. It
elevator
really
to
is.
hurry the hell up and let me out. It
I'm
felt
gonna give y'all a quick safety tip. If you're a woman, my suggestion is if you're in the elevator with a stranger, one, keep that gun on you. Like, I'm serious. Like, y'all be thinking I'll be playing when I say this. Gun, and always stay near the exit. Do not let him block them numbers, and stay near the exit / entrance. Because if we get you in that corner, then you're going to have to let some shots off.
like forever, but when the doors finally opened, I left as soon as I could. I got out of the building and started making my way towards school faster than I ever had. I didn't take any risky shortcuts though. I stuck to my usual route, where I knew there would be people around.
Yeah, I graduated in
Looking
June.
over my
That
shoulder
jump's
here
like-
and there, I could see
It was-
that
it was
same
nice, though.
guy
I ain't gonna lie.
following me, keeping up with my pace.
There you
I didn't
go.
know how else to shake him, but to get where I was going. And as long as he stayed a decent distance behind me,
Right there, you got to start screaming. You got to start screaming and acting like a fool. You gotta get everybody's attention, even everybody that's in the office buildings, everybody that's in random places. You gotta get somebody attention and say, "Hey, this creep is following me."
I'd be fine.
It's
right?
easier said than
Then
done, but
I
I'm just
rounded
saying.
a corner on one of the final stretches. As my luck would have it, I didn't see anyone on this
Black
block.
man?
It was earlier in the morning than I was used
He's
to.
definitely a serial
Not
killer.
everybody was up yet, and to make matters worse, I was fast headed toward a van parked on the curb.
That's his
I
van.
barely had time to think if I should cross the street before the van.
That's his
In case
van!
it belonged to him, because out of nowhere, I heard him running up behind me. I tried to break out into a sprint, but
Hey,
then
man.
his dirty gym clothes.
Who's doing these animations, bro? See, look, man.
suddenly wrapped around my face. It covered up my mouth and nose as he squeezed,
This dude is
silencing me,
insane.
flooding my lungs with chemicals. I fought, but the weakness overtook me so quickly. He pulled my hair back to peer into my panicking eyes. I saw him smiling down at me, saliva spilling from the corners of his crazed mouth. Then everything went black. If only I could have just died right then and there. But that was just the
What's he about to do to
beginning.
her?
I woke up, unable to move my hands. They were bound together with rope, but my legs were free. Without thinking, I tried to get up and run, but then I was shoved back to the ground.
Dang.
I hit my head against a concrete wall, forcing me to look around
trolling, bro.
and to take stock of where I had ended up. Best I could figure was a basement. Unfinished concrete on every surface, chains and metal bars, more like a dungeon. And standing over me was that sick freak from the
Here
elevator.
we go. Here we go. Like, this dude is an actual clown, bro. But I'm finna make this a thumbnail. I ain't gonna lie. Gotta get this as a thumbnail. You crazy? Video gonna mess around and blow up.
He was wearing a mask now, but I knew it was him. It was the hockey mask everyone was obsessed with. And through the holes, I could still see glimpses of his wretched smile. It's too late to run, stupid girl.
Just let me go, please.
Are you kidding? No one has ever let anyone go on Friday the 13th.
I don't care about Friday the 13th. I don't want to do this.
Oh, I know. You care more about tomorrow, don't you?
Yes, so please let me go.
No. I'll tell
Hey,
you a
man,
secret.
put your shirt back
Friday
on,
the
boy.
13th lasts for another 14 hours. Only pure, innocent virgins get to celebrate Valentine's Day. But by midnight, you will be none of those things.
Whoa.
So, after I'm done with you, I might as well kill you. On February Friday 13th,
No freaking-
14-year-old Amber Dubois went missing on her way to school. Her remains were not discovered until a year later, when her killer, then 30-year-old John Gardner, confessed while in custody
Come
for a
on,
similar
bro.
crime, which he committed near the anniversary of Dubois' death. Unfortunately, his statement to a reporter that he would be dead within 5 years of being incarcerated did not hold true, as he still draws breath to this day, serving a life sentence behind the bars of Mule Creek State Prison. On Friday the 13th,
Come
Amber
on,
Dubois
bro.
vanishes. A year later, Chelsea King disappears nearby. The killer was later revealed to be convicted offender John Gardner, who blamed everything from his major rage to state budget cuts for the murders of the two victims. Gardner, 31, pleaded guilty to the slayings and will be sentenced to life in prison. I was aware of what I was doing, but I could not stop myself. I was in a major rage and pissed off at my whole life. And
So, because you're mad at your life and you're a bum, you go take it out on a 14-year-old. Got it. Yeah, go ahead and pack him up.
everybody that's hurt me and blew up, and I hurt the wrong people, Gardner said. Chelsea King's body was found in February, 5 days after she disappeared while jogging near her home. Dubois disappeared in February 2009 while on her way to school. Gardner
Now, honestly, like I was saying about having things to defend yourself, like a gun. Obviously, with them being that age, they more than likely would not have a gun available. So, we got three things. We got a bunch of things. We got knives. We got tasers. Bear mace. It's a lot. Brass knuckles. Now, I know those are more than likely illegal. But if it's only for self-defense, I personally don't see the problem.
But at the end of the day, you gotta fight dirty. If you're in a situation, and I'm being 100% serious, if you're in a situation and a grown man like this, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case is, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're a woman or whatever, don't even matter what you are. You gotta fight dirty. Gouge his eyes. Grab his nuts. Kick him in his nuts. Everything. Like, you gotta fight dirty. Clap his ears together. Throw off his equilibrium. Biting. painting, twist it, give him a purple notebook or something. Stick your nails in his skin. And, like, I'm telling you, we gotta fight dirty. Like, you gotta make it hard. You gotta make it hard. Pause.
But yeah, y'all stay safe out
Force
here.
for the murders, but also laughed when asked if there were any more victims, telling the reporter, "No,
Oh yeah. I don't want to see this no more. It's talking about too many little girls, bro. R.I.P. to them. This guy, just go ahead and knock him off.